Radio Rahim with the alien. He has touched down in Saudi Arabia. The kingdom has the new king. You haven't been here for the entire run of all this Riyadh season stuff, but I mean, the iconic boxing career that you've had, the experience you've had in this.
I've been in 2 days.
You've been here 2 days?
Yes.
I've been here 6 years. And
you love it, don't you? How I feel.
You know what?
My wife got family, been here 7 years.
Really?
He's a doctor. He stays here.
Like you, there's nothing I really love more than boxing, and what's happened in the sport of boxing because of what's happening in Saudi Arabia, I think is unmatched. Now they're saying that this card is the best card ever. That's a big statement.
Well,
you think?
Look at the card from top to top. I don't want nobody to think I'm losing it. I didn't have to say bottom because where's the bottom? Yeah, you have a start and you have a finish. But if you look at the matchups, each of these matchups, take away the Schofield fight with, as we know, Shakur. Each guy, each bout, each match has the potential for each guy to win. And that is cliche in most cases. It's a cliche kind of conversation. But if you really look at this card from top to top, which I always been saying when I first heard this potential card being talked about and put together, you don't see this all the time, and this ain't just promoting talk. This ain't just a fan talking. This is actually what it is. Each of these bouts have an opportunity for each guy to win.
Now, sadly, for Schofield's sake, he was probably the guy that had the most to gain by winning because he was maybe the biggest underdog on the card. He's getting an opportunity to really shine on a major stage. What's your reaction to him having to pull out of the fight and some of the rumors that have been circulating around that?
No comment.
Have you spoken to him or his team at all?
No, you have to ask Oscar. Oscar been handling that and talking to that. I have no idea.
All right, if you can't speak specifically to what's going on with the young man as far as his medical goes, just in the kind of opportunity that's missed, when something like this happens, whether it be what they say or it just be an unfortunate incident, what does that do to the trajectory of your career, your opportunities?
No comment.
Well, let's look at the top of the top. Go ahead.
I'm under oath. No comment.
You're pleading the fifth.
No comment.
I'll take you to the card. I mean, really, sometimes a no comment is a comment, and I think I appreciate what's going on here. At the top of this card, Beterbiev and Bivol, it's a rematch, but it's one of those things that isn't settled. Even though it's an undisputed crown champion, depending on who you talk to, the wrong man is holding all those titles. What did you think about the first fight, and do you think we see something different on Saturday night?
The first fight was very close. If either guy would have got a draw, left out there with a draw, I wouldn't have been mad about that. That fight was close. And it takes some really, really intelligent, non-biased judges in situations like that, which is rare, need to let the guys do what they do, and then the winner hopefully will show up on the scorecards if it go the distance. I feel that it won't. Personally, I feel that it won't go the distance. And both of these guys, they know each other to a point of knowing what they can do to each other. I think that's going to be a major factor. And who changes up in that battle. That battle is going to be who can change up for good to offset the other guy. And I think that will be the surprise of the other guy, where the winner will be either guy that does that. Either guy that does that will be victorious.
When you predict the knockout, reading into that, Beterbiev is the man who has knocked out every opponent other than Bivol. It would seem like that's where that prediction is leading if we're seeing a knockout.
Anybody can get knocked out, but I don't see Bivol getting knocked out. Seeing Bivol being who he's been, and I think he will step up a notch or two because Bivol has a great rhythm of boxing. We've seen that with Canelo. We also seen that with other fights that he had leading up to this main rematch that's coming up. It's going to be a fight who does what they do better than the other, and that will be the outcome of the fight.
Well, Saudi and His Excellency is a magnet for icons in the sport. You mentioned Canelo. I saw him in London for the first time at a Riyadh season event, and now he's got a 4-fight deal, the second of which will be Terence Crawford. What are your thoughts on the Crawford-Canelo matchup?
I believe, and I still believe, unless otherwise, a good big man always beat a good little man. I stand 10 toes down on that because history never lies. People do. And so I'm going with history.
Can Crawford deny history and do what would seem the impossible for a little man with a good big man? What would he have to do to be the better man on that night?
First of all, anything is possible. But you asked me a question of history, and you asked me a question of common of history. Where is common? Where is not? And I just say again, a good big man always will beat a good little man, but it will be exciting. It will be action-packed, and Canelo will be victorious.
Last one on Canelo. We just saw Benavidez in a tremendous performance, a tough fight against Morrell. He's still been denied the Canelo fight. Now there's 4 fights on this deal with His Excellency.
We got to be patient. You got to be patient, and the key thing is, and some have control, and some don't have control, depending on your lifestyle. Just hope you're here to be able to see it.
Does it knock Canelo's legacy if he doesn't fight Benavidez?
No, because things happen. I mean, look, every generation had a key fighter or fighters that didn't fight that particular person at that particular time. I mean, is that a mark on Mayweather's record that he didn't fight Pacquiao?
I think it's a mark on both their records that they didn't fight 5 years earlier than when they did.
Correct. That's what I'm saying. And when they fought when people wanted them to fight, and before he got old. So I mean, I don't think it's a mark on their record. I think it's just something that didn't happen. People moved on, and when it eventually do happen, 9 out of 10 when it is too late, people will still enjoy and do what they got to do. But I want to ask you a question and switch the tables on you.
You love doing this.
I love doing this to you. Matter of fact, let's do it this way.
No.
What do you think, Radio Rahim, about Ryan Garcia's comeback soon?
I'm anticipating Ryan Garcia's comeback. I like the fact that he's able to pull it together, get back in the ring, show us that maybe whatever troubles he was dealing with before their Haney fight, he's overcome. Everybody deserves a second, maybe even a third chance, but this will be the final chance. If it's shenanigans this time, if it's any kind of madness or tomfoolery, I don't think we want to see him in the ring again, regardless of what his capabilities are.
So, Radio Rahim, have you heard about the switch in trainers and where he's going to be probably doing most of his training camp?
I don't know where he's doing most of his training camp, but I know where most training starts is in the mind. If he's focused, we know he's talented. If he is disciplined, we know he has ability, and he can be the top of the division. He can be the guy that you want him to be, that his potential demands, but I think his first trainer starts between his ears.
What do you think about going back to Canelo's trainer right now?
I mean, I think that's a beautiful place for him to be. If him and Canelo get along and the Reynosos are willing to take him back and shepherd him through this stage of his career, I don't think there's a better place for him culturally or strategically or technically.
Okay. I think that Ryan going back to where he can get a fresh approach to the second half, I would say, even though he's young, but he's done a lot and also been through a lot, I think it'd be a reboot for him mentally, physically, and spiritually. I think this side of Ryan Garcia is going to be what we already knew he had and can do. the division now that he's in, and even move up a notch, it's going to be exciting based on the other potential greats, greats. Boxing as well live.
Well, Matt, we can't talk about that without talking about Haney. Before I let you go, and this is the last one, what are your thoughts then on Haney's comeback? He will say he's still undefeated and dismisses the Garcia bout as not legitimate. So where is his comeback look for you?
Haney comeback will be just as of Ryan Garcia. It would be a situation where he know he has to reboot his mind, reboot his career to the point of where he go and what he wants to end the history that he wants to leave to be able, when that time comes, to when his career ends. And let me tell you, he's young, he can fight, and one fight, one loss, in some cases 2 losses, do not damage or, in some cases, end your career. Both of those champions and really stars today have a bright future for the second half. They just got to now win the fights that matters, win all the fights, but win the fights that matters, the big super fights, and continue to make history and make their own history. This is where they at now. I mean, a lot of great things come with history. Money is nice, but history can never spend that, and nobody can spend it for you. That's the difference.
Well, I'm talking to history right now every time I talk to the alien Bernard Hopkins. I appreciate the time as always. Radio Rahim with B-Hop, Bernard
Respect.
Hopkins.
Saudi.
Appreciate you. Thank you so much.